Recording in progress. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Meet Tina here. Meet Tina on YouTube. How about that? And also meet Mary Fong on YouTube on Meet Tina channels. Well, guys, I haven't done this interview for quite a long time. I think since last September, right, Mary?
Is it?
I think you were here. I have interviewed Mary once or twice. I think twice on this channel. Okay, once. As you get on older, you cannot remember anything. Memory just, I think that's part of Ascension, right, Mary? That's part of a symptom. Well,
Yes.
that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's a symptom of Ascension, a great awakening, and solar flash. So, well, you know what? I'm going to let Mary talk about that, share with us what she got. And in solar flash, great awakening, and also the symptom of Ascension. All right. So let's welcome Mary Fong. Hey, Mary. How are you doing, my friend, my sister?
It's good to see you, sister.
It's good to see you. Well, we finally met in person at a Conscious Life Expo this year. So it was very nice. We met through YouTube here. And what's the beautiful thing about doing this YouTube, having this YouTube channel, this platform is have this connection with all the brothers and sisters, soul family, it's so beautiful. And to finally get to meet in person is really, really nice. So we're going to be going on a UFO cruise in April. So we're going to be doing some live show maybe and talk as well. But today, let's talk about the Great Awakening and all the great stuff today. How about that, Mary? Let's introduce Mary Fong. Mary Fong, you are a professor, correct?
Yes.
All right. Tell the audience about you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm an emeritus professor at Cal State San Bernardino. And so I teach intercultural communication, spiritual communication courses, particularly communicating love and compassion, dying and afterlife communication, personal growth. So that's the fun things that I do there, and I do research. So what I'm going to be talking about and having a conversation with Tina, because she's going to share her experiences too of this great awakening, is that a lot of my information comes from my guides. So part of my research I do is I work with a medium who channels in my guides, and I ask them questions and they give me answers. So I'm going to share that information with you.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. How about that? Because, we were talking for a while. It's going to be a lot of information. We may have to split this interview into two parts because Mary said she got a lot of stuff to share with people.
Oh.
So, Mary, great awakening. Great awakening.
Yeah. So what is the Great Awakening? We hear that. But let's just put it in a nice nutshell, nice and clean. Well, it's when a person is able to look beyond the physical. They believe there's something more than the physical. They come to a realization that they are a spirit having a human experience. And other characteristics of the Great Awakening is when a person feels that, there's really life after death. That we're not just done and gone forever, but there's really life continues on. Also, people will have a sense that there are other beings in the universe.
Absolutely.
We're not the only ones.
We're not the I mean, how egotistical is that to think that we're the only one in this universe,
Right.
And even in this earth, you see tons of different universes in this earth, different life form, right? Insects, all kinds, animals, mammals,
all different plants, right?
Plants too. That's right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so that's one condition that a person is part of the Great Awakening. They're awakening up to things more than the physical. The other condition is when people we're experiencing right now we are experiencing and witnessing the pandemic. Now notice pandemic. Okay, so,
you guys get that? Pandemic.
That what we are experiencing has been designed not only by God, but really the people who are in that 1% elite who are controlling this world right now. And they've been doing it for thousands of hundreds of for a long, long, long time. And so when we get this awareness that what we thought has been true and real, that we've been taught since we were little kids, and also we become awakened to what I thought was true is really not true. It's actually false. That this 3D matrix that we are living in has been created and designed by the people in power who are corrupt because they want to control us. So, we won't talk a whole lot about that because we won't be safe in this community.
Yeah, I think, some of you may not be aware when I was on my Thailand trip last year in October, November, they actually have to put me on, what do you call that, suspended? Yeah, for 3 months. So I think I just started coming back like a month ago. Yeah, so I guess, many of us have to be careful what we said too on the channel, but, that's kind of sad, we just have to be kind of very limited to what we have to express ourselves.
See, and that's a red flag to tell us that the people in power who are baddies, they're trying to control us, control the truth from coming out. But if you want more information, so I'm going to put in a plug-in here, so we don't have to talk about YouTube. It's in my second memoir, A Beautiful Blueprint. I do extensive research on what is going on right now that we need to be awakened to the truth and how we've been, controlled in a false manner. So that's the most we'll get to.
Speak of that memoir, why don't you tell the audience too, what you have, because people can grab your memoirs on Amazon, right now, because she published. Let's do that,
Yeah, I've been guided. It's part of my soul plan. I've already completed the first memoir called Two Heart Nuts to Crack. And that's the backstory of when I was like 2 years old to about 27, 28 years old. And I talk about my cultural, intercultural, and spiritual experiences. So people could start reflecting on their own life about how they're brought up in a culture and how some of the spirituality kind of comes through too, when we may not even be so aware of. So it's helped you to raise your awareness. And then I go into the second memoir, which is called A Beautiful Blueprint. And that talks about the Great Awakening. So that continues on from 27 to 49 years of age. But again, continuing on my journey of life, on understanding the cultural spirituality, and also be awakened to things that are going on that I didn't realize before. So hopefully it will help awaken you, your journey of this life, and also the extensive research. There's like 6 epilogue chapters of things that will awaken you.
Nice. Well, guys, I'm going to list the link, if you want to purchase her memoirs, that's going to be quite interesting. And you can learn a lot from Mary too, because she spent a lot of time doing research, and you just get it in that, a couple of books that she has. So the link is going to be there under description, guys. So oftentimes people go, well, how do I get this? Look under the description of this video. On every single videos, I'm going to be, if there's a link for you to go, I'll have that information underneath the link, just so you know. All right.
And one last thing.
Yeah, sure.
What you're experiencing is when you open your eyes and really watch what's going on many levels and systems, you will notice corruption, and those structures are in the midst of crumbling now. We are here to witness the crumbling of the baddies, and we are here to build that new earth as the people who will create this.
Now, Mary, have you ever got timeline from your guy with this crumbling status?
Timeline. Well, it's happening little by little right now. Happening behind the scenes. Again, I don't want to say any words that will trigger anything, but there's a lot, but you'll get a lot of that information in the second memoir. So I'm not
Awesome.
trying to sell a book. I'm just trying to help build your awareness so you raise your frequency with this new information.
And the thing too, we're here to inspire. We're here to increase the awareness and consciousness. We're not here to trigger the fears. That should be the last thing that everyone go into, and nothing to be fearful, because
Yes.
I really believe that all of us together have a lot of power, have a lot of light, have a lot of love, and we united, we're fine. Fine, baby. So let's go with the next question, Mary. Great
Okay.
awakening. So how many % of people are awakened at the moment? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I talked to my guides yesterday through the
Mhm.
channeling session, and they said it's increased more. It's approximately 42 to 46% of the people on this planet who have awakened in varying degrees.
Mhm.
Okay. Some are just beginning, some been around, and some really fully awakened to what's going on.
Mm.
It's our job. It's really our individual responsibility is to awaken. That's why we are here.
Well, I'm sure you and I have been in this, area for many years, many, many years. I've been around this for so many years. And I have to agree that I have noticed an increase of awakened people. The Conscious Life Expo we met. I
Mhm.
remember way back about 20 years, just about 20 years. I went there before when they first started. There were just about 1 to 200 people. I'm
Oh,
not kidding you. Very small, the same hotel, small section. Right
uh-huh.
now, Mary, how many people you think that went there? Because we were there a couple of days.
Yeah, there were thousands of people there.
A couple thousand at least. It was packed everywhere, 3 floors, and they actually extend even further into more rooms, more areas on each floor. I
Yeah.
was like, every room we went to, it was like sardine. I I was I was planning to video everything. I was like, oh, you know what? Forget. I'm not gonna do any kind of video because it's like all you see is people.
Right.
People just kind of like crowded, between each other, just very crowded.
Yeah.
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 So
It was my first experience at that
yeah. So
expo.
there's
I really
definitely
enjoyed it.
quite a lot of
Yeah.
people, and I've been going there for many years, not every year, but many years, and every year had increased. So I have to kind of agree that the number of people who have awakened have drastically shifted and changed, increased quite a bit, a lot. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Even I have noticed that through my travel to Thailand, I've noticed a lot more people in Thailand are awakened. And I even heard like many part of Asia too, in Japan, Korea, a lot of them are awakened. A
Okay.
lot.
We're
Yeah.
moving in the right direction, folks.
We're
Let's
like,
keep
get
going.
on the train and just ride it along. All
Right.
right.
So,
So now you were talking about pandemic, a great awakening,
mhm.
and with all this, another topic that we were discussing was solar flash. A lot
Yes.
of people talk about solar flash.
Yes.
Even some of people who follow my channel, they follow this guy I interview, Ishmael. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
your picture. You took picture. I
Yeah,
took picture with him too.
unfortunately. Uh-huh.
He's now a movie star. So, so he
Uh-huh.
talks about solar flash when I first interviewed him. So, what information you got from your guides with this, Mary?
Okay, so before we talk about the solar flash, I think people
Mm,
need to understand about the sun,
okay.
the sun's effect on this great awakening. And so the sun emits light codes, the sun rays, it
Yeah.
has light codes that activates our DNA in our dormant cells during this ascension.
Mhm.
So essentially, most of us only have 2 strands of DNA that are active when we have 12 strands. So 10 of our DNA strands are dormant, right? And so this ascension, the raising of our frequency, is involving the solar rays, emitting that information, awakening our DNA cells. So some people see these light codes that have information activating the DNA based on the person's blueprint, their soul blueprint. So some people will actually see, the more awakened ones, I think, start seeing letters, numbers, symbols, molecules, spirals, and the frequencies that are coming off of the sun. So, these light codes allow us to be creative, to be more intuitive, have more of the abilities connected to our galactic families. For example, maybe in your lineage, your family has been healers. Okay. But maybe in this life, you're a healer one way or another. There's different ways of healing, and maybe not so. Instead, you end up going into another profession. But when you are ascending and your DNA strands are expanding from 2 to 3 and 4, we won't be able to do all 12 in this lifetime, but we are going through the ascension process of realizing our abilities from past lives, realizing our gifts. And so that's part of this transition here. Also, during this time, people are releasing their densities or their shadows. They're working on self-improvement.
Shadows, yes, a lot.
Yeah, like, what do we mean by shadows? Like, if you have a bad temper, or you're deceptive or manipulative, or you're
different personalities.
Yeah, all those little quirks that people might have that really are creating density in the body. Being angry easily, after a while it hurts you and hurt the other person you're interacting with. So that creates a heaviness in your body. So this is the time now. Many people are doing it now. And as we move forward, we're going to start releasing, recognizing these and dealing with those densities so that we could become lighter. We can allow more light from the sun to enter our cells because we release the density. And we feel happier and
For sure. Yeah.
and our frequency goes up. So, I have one friend. She just had a divorce in November, and her husband is very 3D. Only feel and see, and that's it. Nothing more to life.
Scary, huh?
Yeah, and for her, she's like 4 and 5D. Yeah, and so. When they first married, he said, "Oh, he's so sweet and all that," but they were together for 17 years and they were just rubbing against each other. And he was blaming her for this because you're crazy. You're thinking about this and this that just doesn't exist. You're imagining all this. And so anyway, she's trying to guide him, but it just wasn't going anywhere. So they end up getting a divorce. So things that are not working for you now, many people are finding their tribe and they're releasing old, friends who just don't click with them. Okay.
Right.
They're thinking
that happened a lot. Yeah. To a lot of people I heard of.
Yeah. So that's happening a lot now. And so that's part of what the light codes are doing, is to get people to release the negativity or density.
Well, I think what happened to, Mary, as you said, that's pretty much the same thing as when a lot of people mention a lot of friends and even family members just kind of disappear out of their life. And they're like, what's going on? The same friend who they used to connect with, just no longer connecting with them. And that's the same reason that you were just talking about.
Yeah, exactly it. And, some people would tolerate or put up with certain people that have been around because, they've known them for so long. But now people are going to be more selective. They're saying, I'm not going to waste my time anymore.
Right? Yeah.
Do things that are not meaningful to me. And so, I need to continue to grow and expand. That's part of our journey, is to come here and expand and grow. We're not here to just sit on a bench and just kind of watch life go by. We're here to be adventuresome and to create and be get to know ourselves.
Exactly. Have fun. You're right. Create.
Right. Now, my guides had told me that that every day I should get about 45 seconds of sun gazing. So, because that will allow the light to enter into my eyes, help me, clean up my pineal gland, my third eye here, help it to expand, to be able to see behind the veil and to grow more. And so it just activates the pineal gland. But they say don't look directly at the sun. Just look to the side or around the sun, but just allow the sun rays to enter your eyes. Also, they said that you should get about 15 minutes at least every day of absorbing suns directly on your skin, because you get vitamin D3 that helps build your immune system. It just helps activate your cells even more. But they say even if you're sitting inside, there's still sunlight coming in and you're still being activated. But they say it's good to go out there and get some sun.
Yeah. The sun gazing, I think American Indian practice that.
Oh, really?
Yes. I have heard that long time ago, because I remember I used to practice that. We used to do a sun gazing ceremony.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's American Indian do teach that as well. So it's kind of fascinating that you brought this up.
Yeah.
And kind of the same thing. See, you didn't know anything about that. And then you get it from your guides. So the sun gazing, the same thing, early morning, gaze under the sun. Or like, late evening when the sun goes down.
Yeah. My guide said around 9 to 10:30 is good. Okay. There's enough sun, but not too much sun.
Yeah.
And then they said around after 4 o'clock in the day is a good time. I thought of this cute little rhyme as I'm out there sun gazing. And you might want to try this. It goes like, like coats come my way. Open up my DNA as God has created me to be a magnificent being who's free.
You know what, Mary? That would be great to teach children.
Yeah. I'll give that to you.
I think seriously, I think that because we need to really figure out the way how we're going to train children to really practice this whatever we're doing here too, because children are one that are being manipulated the most.
Yeah.
And if they get to do that and they get to do this, what you just sing, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They have to have fun, and they really get to go outside, instead of just being inside the house, the room all day long. They need that.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Wow.
My understanding is that the babies are being born now, or like in the most recent 5 years, maybe up to 10 years, they're more than 2 DNA strands. Some of them are coming in with some telepathic ability.
Yeah.
Some, mind reading.
They do have that. Yeah. I believe kids have that if they're not being destroyed already. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So
with these
go ahead, Mary.
Ascension symptoms. Many of us, if not all of us, will experience these ascension symptoms.
Okay.
What was the first ascension symptom you had?
Well, I didn't really have anything that's like some people have, in terms of feeling emotional or headache, anything like that. I back then I had more of being in a hypnotic state all day long for months and years, actually for a couple of years in 2011, 12, 13. So those 3 years, my symptom was it was like I'm not being here on this earth, but I'm not being there. I am in between two worlds.
Wow.
And I get what's back then I call downloads, and they still call it until today. I had no idea. I just said downloads back then, So it's like when I asked, and next I saw Egypt, I saw Atlantean, I saw Lemurian, and I saw where they are, and I saw this is how the beginning of control manipulation, and I was like, holy shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. It's just like a quick download, which is weird, Mary. It was just so quick, but it's like the whole history, that in 1 second and 1 minute. It was so weird how it's like a language of subconscious that can be understood so rapidly. not like when you read the book. So that was the experience that I had. I was just in a very hypnotic state.
That,
And just the knowing and then sharpen of the intuition and the telepathy more and more. It's like you can kind of read feeling of people and thought. It's
mhm.
more intense back then for me than now.
Wow.
Just like a knowing. It was weird experience, magical. I have to say magical. Very, very I would just say it's really weird, but it
Uh-huh.
was a great weird, not something that I experienced.
How
Yeah. Yeah.
long ago did this occur?
I'm sorry, how long it took? It was about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 2 years.
Wow. You know, you're really experiencing the 5D, 4D,
Yes. I
5D.
know. Now I understand what it is. Back then, I didn't understand what it is at all. And I was like that all day long, every day, every week for 2, 3 years. And I wasn't the only one. It was just my group of students too. It was just the whole group that have this experience. We meditate all day long. I taught every day. I was on Blog Talk radio show doing this talk. I mean, how funny I'm doing YouTube right now. So and I taught my student. I did a conference call with free meditation. So a lot of people call in, from all over the United States. And I would be in that hypnotic state, and I hypnotize people all day long as well, as a hypnotherapist. So I was in that state, and it was like download constantly, because I was in that alpha state or theta state all the time, Mary. And I was like, am I here? Am I here? Am I there? And I can actually be in the two realities.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. In the channeling session, they mentioned that will be occurring when we're in 4D. Now, there's some people 4D, 5D, 6D now. They don't have to wait for the solar flash. But you know
Yeah.
what? I want to hear more about your experiences when you talk
I
about 4D,
yeah,
5D.
but I do have to recommend people when they ascend, they have the symptom, they should be very grounded with their body too, meaning exercise, workout, and the food they eat, because I sort of lacked that back then, and it was very hard to be grounded here. It was magical experience, Mary. I have to say that very magical because it's stuff that you see, and it just came. It's stuff that I never read back then. I never read. I never watched TV for years and years. I never read book anything. But how the heck did I know all this?
Right.
Ancient Egyptian time, Lemurian came in and all that. Saw the images. I was like, whoa! And everybody getting at the same thing, and we all didn't know anything about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
well, I probably look for the future of experiencing that, but I
yes.
feel fundamental.
Yeah.
I'm fundamental.
But for what you say, yeah, I believe that's what we feel when we shifting into that between the dimension and the fifth dimension. So I was kind of shown that experience before. It's pretty cool though. I mean, I really now I'm more prepared. I have to say I'm more prepared, and I would keep that. I would keep that. You can dip back into the 3D with that, and I would love to be able to keep that state and between two worlds.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to be in that, because it's so cool, because you can see a different timeline. You can understand that there's no time.
Oh, you're talking about 4 and 5D. I'm still working with the whole idea. All right, we're in 3D, and what are people sensing? For me, the first ascension symptom I had was just nasal congestion. All right, so nasal congestion compared to what you just explained, just basic.
That one just took me straight up like that. And I didn't know at the time what it was. And even years after, I didn't know, but now I understand that I actually was in between the two worlds, the 3D and 5Ds.
Wow, cool.
So now, it makes me understand there's no time on this. And there's a linear time here. And you totally get it, see it. You see the energy, you see everything in like coming in images. It's like Disneyland, Mary.
Oh, how exciting.
Your mind just very telepathic. You get, you just know what you ask is zoom. It's like download how fast you understood like that. I just never figure out how fast it downloads.
You
So
have,
fast, and your mind just understood just like that within seconds.
well, my sense is that your frequency is fairly high in the fourth or fifth dimension, if not fifth dimension.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, people who are 3D and they're getting certain symptoms like nasal congestion, or they
Mhm.
get dizziness, all of a sudden they get vertigo. I remember when I woke up one morning, trying to pop out of bed, and all of a sudden, whoa, the whole room just moved. And then I just plopped down and slept for an hour. And then when I decided to get up, I just got up real slow. But I had dizziness, mainly getting up in the morning and when I put my head down on the pillow. But I had that for probably about 5 months. And then I had a break. And then months later, half a year later, then I'll have that occurring. And my guides told me is that I'm just filling my head up with a lot of information, because I was working on the memoirs and learning a lot, expanding.
Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Information is raising the frequency. So what's happening with ascension symptoms, our body is trying to adjust to the higher frequency, because the planet's electromagnetic field is already mother Earth or Gaia is already at 5D. Okay. But us humans, most of us are still 3D. The portal has already opened and many have already entered 4D. And so anyway, so let me just rattle off these ascension symptoms so people could kind of get a sense of
Yeah,
it.
do that. Yeah, please.
Easy to Google or DuckDuckGo ascension symptoms, because I came across like 41, but we don't got time at this time.
We'll be another 2 hours here.
Yeah. So anyway, we had like I personally experienced the joint tenderness. So I want to do squats one summer to kind of, build my thigh muscles. And I said, how come my ankles are so tender? I better stop doing this because I don't want to injure myself. So then I didn't do any squats. And then as the weeks went on, then I started feeling tenderness on my knees, then my hips, then my lower back, then going up my back to my shoulders, my neck. And it was just like, so what's happening is my cells are adjusting. They're opening up, light coming in and trying to adjust my body to be lighter, getting rid of the density in my body. And so, and then I remember when I had tightness in my back, I was walking my dog. I said, God, my back is so tight. So I sat on a bench and I just leaned over my knees and stretched my back and, breathed. And then I got back up and I felt so much better because the muscles were just really getting cramped up. Also, some people have heart palpitations, fluttering of the heart. Have you had that experience yet?
Well, I have that actually after COVID, but not back then. Back then, I remember I had a lot of heat on my crown. I get a lot of heat all over my body, but we meditated a lot. So I don't know that because of that too, but it was a lot of electricity, a lot of heat around my crown area, and definitely right around just this area and around all my hair.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, my guides had told me that we have portals from our crown chakra. And so the light will enter on our crown chakra. For some people, it'll be on the back of the head, on the upper part of the back of the head, or the lower part at the back of the head, or in the neck area. So if you're feeling that heat or that tension, because sometimes I just feel like, I got to stretch my neck because I feel some soreness. That's because of the body is adjusting to the higher frequency, because the body has to raise the frequency to match up to the, that's why we're ascending, to match up to the changes of this planet and the whole consciousness. Okay. But then we have people waking up at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning and they didn't used to do that, or they're not able to sleep. Now, one time in the summertime, I think it was 2 or 3 summers ago, I felt like I had food poisoning and I was down for 2 days. I said, but there's nothing wrong with what I ate, but I didn't vomit, I didn't diarrhea, nothing, but I just felt like nauseous. So I was away from my work for 2 days. And then I asked them the channeling. I said, what was that I experienced? They said, you had the Ascension flu. I didn't even know for it. It's called Ascension flu. Also, probably in the last couple of months or 3 months, my jaw started feeling, sore. I said, why is my jaw so sore here? And I looked it up, I Googled it, and it mentioned about a toothache. I said, but I didn't have a toothache. So I figured the jaw was close to the tooth. I prefer to have a jaw ache than a toothache, because if I have a toothache, then I feel like I go to the dentist, and the dentist
That's more expensive.
yeah, the dentist said, well, we got to do a root canal, when maybe it doesn't need a root canal. So I said,
That's
okay,
even worse.
right, so this
Right.
is what happened to my body, the adjustment. And then also another thing that was really bugged me. I think it was last August. I felt my mouth was dry. And then I think I had Thai food one night.
Ooh, Thai food.
Now, I can't handle spiciness, so I did mild spicy. It wasn't like hot spicy. Anyway, the next morning, I looked in the mirror and my tongue was bleeding. The tip of my tongue was bleeding. My tongue has never bled before. What's going on here?
Yeah.
But then I said, oh, and then it was just feeling tight in there. And so then I asked the challenge session. They said, well, your frequency is raising and all that. So I no longer eat like any chips or cookies or fried foods. I try not to fry my fish. I just try to, stay away from the friedness, because it'll dry my mouth more. My water intake, about 9 to 12 cups a day, different types of liquids.
Yeah, I have noticed that too, Mary, that those of us who are going through this process tend to be kind of shifting more attention to the kind of food that we eat, into more, I mean, it may not be perfect, guys, but, at least we're just a little bit more aware and conscious of what we put in our mouth, like, less fried foods and all this,
fruits and veggies are in.
Right. A lot of fresh foods, stuff that not too much chemicals and processed.
Right.
So I think many of us are more and more conscious about that, it's tough in this world. I mean, I noticed that in the United States, probably the worst country, that the food are pretty much poison, I believe.
Oh.
Because I'll tell you, Mary, when I got my gallbladder removed because of the COVID thing. When I went to Thailand, before I went to Thailand, I always got this, bloating in my stomach. But when I went to Thailand, even though they fried a lot of foods and I had to eat that because it was during the trip that we were on a tour,
right,
I didn't have any symptom at all in my stomach.
Oh,
none. The whole month. And I was like, interesting. Even though the food is fried and that would consider not good food at all, but I did not have any symptom in my stomach as far as bloating. But as soon as I come back here, mind you, I try to be conscious about, salad and all that stuff. Mary, I started to have bloating and all that stuff. So I'm like, it's gotta be food here, stuff that we eat here.
Yeah.
Really
is, and what have you.
Yeah.
I want to mention something that was interesting. So my taste buds, just 1 or 2 was sticking out, protruding, and it was start getting sore. So then for a whole week, you had to kind of, not eat much and eat cooler foods to let it heal. So then it got better. There's no soreness, but I could still feel the taste buds sticking out. I said, oh, what are you supposed to do? I mean, it won't go back down. So anyway, I got really desperate. I remember hearing from Cryon, he saying that you could heal yourself.
Right.
You say these words and so forth. And so what I did out of really desperation, I said, I just calmed myself down and I was really focused on my tongue. I said, I am healed. I am well. I am healthy. So I said all these positive affirmations. And within 2 or 3 hours,
gone.
The taste bud was smooth. I said, hey, my tongue is good. I was so happy.
Awesome.
But what was interesting was then I just kind of went back to you know, whatever, eating whatever. And then it came back and said, oh no, I got another week of this pain. And then, and so I tried to do the affirmations, but nothing was happening that quickly. And then I asked him I went to sleep. And then I got up 2 hours later after looking at my tongue because I could see the taste bud was white. I said, oh no, it's getting worse. So I went to sleep for 2 hours, got up, and then it was healed. I said, how did that happen? It's not white anymore, it's smooth. So I asked in the channeling session, I said, what happened? How did that work? He says, well, it was Archangel Michael that did the healing because you asked for a healing.
And you forgot already.
I said, oh, thank you. So I'm very, very cautious about what I eat now.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I don't think food here is that healthy at all for all of us in the United States. Definitely a lot of chemical. Yeah, because my body just be able to tell right away after the trip, like fried food here almost every day because that's what they have for me to eat that moment. But I didn't have any symptom. I came back here, I grabbed salad right away and everything. Boom.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, wow, okay, there's got to be stuff in their food here that they put chemical, you know, for our body to react that way.
Yeah.
Because I think that makes sense because they grow everything. A lot of stuff, you know, when you eat out on the streets, they grow their vegetable, you know, there's no insecticides and all that stuff. And that's what I felt. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get back into our talk about Ascension then. So, Mary, let me ask you.
Yeah. So why are we having Ascension symptoms?
Yeah.
Well,
how many people you know of that? Because I get people also wonder about that too. How many people or who are people who are able to ascend and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Who? Because people will be asking, will I ascend this lifetime? How do I know if I ascend?
Right. And so when we're describing all these ascension symptoms, our body adapting, because our bodies are essentially carbon-based. And so in these ascension symptoms, we're getting rid of the density, we're allowing more light into our cells to activate our DNA. And so our bodies are changing to a higher frequency and becoming more crystalline. So from carbon-based to crystalline, that's why we will find us changing our diets to be more liquid, more fresh fruits and vegetables, and getting away from the heavy stuff. And like you said, the processed foods and all, because we're just adapting to the 5D, you know, Gaia dimension. So yeah, in order, we need to change. If we don't change, then bye-bye.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, guides were saying that, you know, the people who ascend to 4D, we are still carrying a lot of mental and emotional energy, just in the journey of life. And so, so in the 4D realm, when we ascend there, we're not yet integrated fully into that higher frequency of 5D. So 4D is a good transition period for our body to continue adapting, opening up our DNA and our abilities. Anyway, so you're probably wondering who's going to ascend to 4D?
Right. Who has that? Who has like that ticket to ascend?
Okay, yeah,
that VIP ticket to ascend.
Yeah, it's all our choice. It's all our desire. So what I've heard from the guides, and I'm also consistent with other people who have mentioned it, that 51% of the people on planet Earth, only 51% of the people who are heart-based, they have the 51% in their journey of life heart-based, meaning that they are other serving. They have good intentions when they do things. And so when you have at least 51% of that quality, you will ascend to 4D. So out of that 51% of the people who ascend to 4D, 90% of those people will be in 4D. And then the other 10% will go to 5D and 6D. So the majority of the people on planet that who do Ascend will be in 4D.
Okay. Can you explain 4D to the audience? Because I'm
Yeah.
sure they're going to ask, what's the difference? Yes.
Yeah. So, the 4D is a time of what's happening to us right now is that our body is adjusting to the higher frequency. So we still have to work on removing our density, self-improvement, some of the negativity that we still hold. You only need 51% heart base, good intentions,
Yeah.
kindness, love and compassion. But you still have, some of us still have that, a lot of us still have other characteristics that is still holding us down and lowering our frequency of anger or being deceptive or not always being honest, those things. So we're still working on that. And as we work on that and allow more of the solar light into our cells, changing up our DNA, our frequency continues to raise. So self-work, it's also expanding our awareness, our consciousness about self and the world around us. And just working together. And so actually it's this 4D is a time of transition before we go to 5D, because we cannot go from 3D bam into 5D, because what will happen is we will injure ourselves. Our body's not ready to handle the higher frequency when our frequency is here. And so that's why we have to transition in this 4D, develop ourselves to get the 5D.
Okay, so 51% 4D, 5D. What about the 49%
that don't
left over?
Yeah.
The one who left behind. What happened to the 49%?
Yeah.
You guys were listening. You guys know which part are you, which group are you in?
Yeah.
Are you in the 51 group? Or are you in 49 group?
Yeah.
If you're listening, you're in a 51.
Yeah. And so my guides have said is people who have pushed the, that and they really getting everyone, they really pushing that, and they know that is not good for you. Okay? And so so because the intent is not a good intention to begin with, okay, because it's really the higher powers who are corrupt, the baddies that are trying to control us. Okay. So anyway, so those people are people who have evil intent. They're not, they're greedy, self-serving, and they haven't worked on themselves. They're not conscious or aware of their negativity, their hurtfulness towards self and others. And so they're still in a growth period and development, because all of us have to go through all those stages of growth. Now, note that in 4D, there's gradients or many levels and a progression. Same thing in 3D. You get the ones who are real bad, and then you get ones that are, less bad. And you get some people who still haven't made that 51% mark of other serving.
Right.
So those people will go into a negative timeline, and which in that negative timeline will be transhumanism. The baddies in power want to continue to, hurt and control. And so that's why, so it's all a growth process. They didn't grow enough to be other serving and be heart.
Well, I'm sure there's some of the audience who are listening and they pretty much said they're awake and ready, but perhaps because of their work, they were forced to, what can they do about it? Have you ever asked your guide, for those who forced to?
Yeah.
know
So the
that.
ones who did it because of their employment and they didn't know better, they're okay. Because just overall, they have to be heart-based. If they live their life thus far, helping others, being kind, being
Have good
loving.
heart,
Yeah.
good heart intention. Yeah,
And then
that's first and foremost very important.
yeah,
Yeah.
so your frequency is high enough to be able to handle 4D. But if you have that low density 3D, you can't handle that higher frequency. So they have to keep working in that 3D and increasing the frequency.
Nice.
That's what's going on. And so there will be a smaller fraction of that 10%. Oh, yeah, that 10% that will go to 5D, and then a smaller fraction of that 10% will be in 6, 7, 8D. And so, we'll talk more about that 4 and 5D in another talk.
Okay.
But you're probably interested in knowing when will the solar flash occur. Everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of people, I'm sure we have different timelines. A lot of people were saying different things, but it's pretty much coming. It's pretty much right here, right now, close right now, right?
Yeah. And I asked probably about last summer. My guides were saying around late March, early April 2024, which was consistent to Ismail when he said, okay, at that time. Also consistent with a physicist who kind of figured around that time. So we were all independent. And so then I asked 2 more times later on. So yesterday I asked again. And they also agree with Ismail that it could happen anytime. Okay. It can happen anytime. And they said, so they said, okay, all right, for that solar flash to occur, they need 10% of the people on planet, the 10% who are going to ascend, or they've already ascended actually, that 10% have to have, of course, is the heart base. They also have to be open. Now, my understanding of being open is, having certain abilities of telepathy, open awareness and expansion of those 2 conditions that I mentioned before about they know that things are going on here that are the structures, the corrupted structures are tumbling down. They're aware of there's more to this life than the physical. So their DNAs are already kicking in. So my guide said it has to be those 10%. They have to reach to that 10%. Also, that they have to be pure. Now, what do they mean by pure? That they're taking care of their densities. Their little baddie quirks. They're pretty clean and pure. So you gotta have those qualities. They will trigger that solar flash, but it has to be 10%. Yeah.
It has to be add up to 10%. That's what you said.
Yeah. Add up.
I see. If there's less than percent, that solar flash will not occur yet.
It will
But
not.
when there's enough energy that up to 10%, that's when it's going to bring in that solar flash.
Yeah. And they said, so we said, well, what is the solar flash going to look like? And they said, it's just going to be like a camera flash. And so, that's all they said. It's just going to be a camera flash. But they also mentioned that there might be some little smaller flashes that are occurring because there's a lot of sun activity going on. People are just really paying attention. Now, did you see that video by Ismail? He did a call about 12 days ago that on March 3rd, tomorrow on Friday, March 3rd, that any time of the day, just meditate and envision the new earth. Imagine that heaven on earth. Send those energetic vibes out there. So he says, just make this all viral so everyone can hear this and do it tomorrow.
Actually, that's a good idea. I like that. I like that suggestion quite a bit. Yeah.
So Ismail did have a video there, and I was sharing it on the other websites. Now we're going to share it here. So
Oh,
let's
good.
our
Maybe
mark.
I should translate that into Thai language and then share that with my students because, you know, I like that idea. I like the 5D visualization.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
beautiful.
So Ishmael says that we could create the ripple.
Exactly.
effect.
Yeah.
And so, because he says there's a portal tomorrow, March 3rd. So, you know, I'm sure there's going to be more portals in the future. So we just got to be aware when it's being announced. So we all do it together and we make a huge impact. And we're
gonna jump into a 5D together. How about that?
Yes.
Mhm.
Get us in there.
Awesome, awesome. That's a great idea. Actually, well, I'll translate that into Thai for my Thai students. You know, some of you may not know I teach. I'm a metaphysical teacher. You know, I never talk about when I do this YouTube channel. You know, I used to teach a long time ago. I still have my meetup. You know, about
I'm
12,
going
13.
to go to one of your meetups.
Yeah, I haven't been active there because I wasn't active in, you know, my meetup for a while, but I still have it. You know, I was so active during the time of when we have that 2012, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, I was quite active. But then life shifted for me and I have to move from Silmar to La Puente here in California. So it was kind of guided by divine when I look back now, you know, and so I sort of let go of that, but I went extreme, spiritual extreme. I wasn't grounded in the earth at all, you know, 100% there. Then it pushed me to experience 100% physical 3D. And then now I'm back. So I bridge both worlds, my being, you know, so I can feel more in my physical body than before. Yeah. Yeah. So it's all good. And now I'm back teaching again, but it's a lot better. I'm a lot more balanced, you know, this time in my life. And so, you know, just kind of get back into what I really love to do. What I'm passionate about is to help waking up people and raise the consciousness like Mary does. You know,
you're doing it.
yeah. Well, you know, it's beautiful to see a lot of people, you know, that actually awaken and, you know, just be able to spread, and not just this part of the world in the United States, but also a different part of the world, you know, being bilingual. I mean, we have adventures in sharing with different people from different part of the world. What we have here, we can share in that part of the world. And they're very excited and very enthused to learn about this, you know, to know about Ascension, to know about solar flash, know about awakening. You know, why not? I mean, the more the merrier. We can actually do this 5D visualization, you know, with the portal that's opening up right now.
Yeah, and look to Ismail will be on certain shows tomorrow to remind people and to go through maybe.
Yeah, I haven't followed him for a while because I've been so quite busy with, but I met him at the show, talked to him at the show too, you know, and but I haven't, but I'm going to interview actually his team, Sarah, the one at the Mystic Art, and Taylor.
Oh, good.
So yeah, because they have this mystical school, you know, that they teach, and yeah, I'll you know, do the interview on them. So after your interview, I'll be interviewing them.
Okay.
And yeah, but I haven't followed him, you know, much because I've been busy and I haven't been doing a lot of my interview. Yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of my interview here. Sorry, guys, but I'm gonna try to keep it up. But Mary's gonna come back again to a second round, talk more about
we're going to talk about, you know, more of the characteristics of 3D so that we could get a sense of what's 3D, 4D, and 5D. What is life like 3D, 4D, and 5D?
Drastic different.
Yeah.
Right? I bet. Yeah. 608, you can add into that too. I'm sure people will ask for more dimension. You know, they go beyond. Cool. Love that. Amazing information today, Mary. Very fun, you know, fun interaction with you, fun information. You got a lot of good goodies here to share with the audience. Loving that.
You're easy to talk with. You're so conversational. I feel so comfortable. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. It's likewise. You know, I'm sure, you know, energy is always matching, you know, who you connect with is always a matching pictures, I believe, you know, and this has been an amazing talk, Mary. Love for you to come back, and she will come back again, you know, and share the rest information with you guys. Mary, thank you so much. And, you know, guys, look up under the description and buy her memoirs. You know, she got 2 of them that came out. I think she got the 3rd one coming out as well. It's on Amazon.com, so it's easy to grab. Doesn't matter where you're at. And if you connect with her, all her information is going to be down under the description for you to connect with Mary.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
If you want to invite her for an interview, for a talk as well, she'd be more than happy to do so. All right.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much, Tina. See
Hey,
you next
maybe
time.
see you next time. And maybe when we get to go to the UFO cruise, we can actually share a lot more information about what's going on the cruise. Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
All
we'll
right,
get the
guys.
rooms.
Exactly. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Well, thank you so much, Mary. Lots of
Okay.
love to you. Lots of thanks. Guys, everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video and learned something from Mary, please do share this video. Please subscribe, click like. And until next time, Mary, I'll talk to you. I can't wait to see you again.
Okay,
All right.
all right, bye.
Bye, guys.